John lived a life he never knew he craved. He had a wife, Mary, her laughter as bright as the sun. They had 5 kids, their tiny hands always reaching for him. He was a celebrated MMA fighter, the roar of the crowd music to his ears. His life was a symphony of contentment, a dream woven into reality. John had just finished training, sweat dripping, muscles screaming. He walked into their home, a cozy little bungalow, filled with the aroma of Mary's famous lasagna. The kids tackled him in a hug, their excited chatter filling the room. He laughed, a deep rumble in his chest, and hugged them back, feeling the warmth of their love seep into his very being. As they sat down for dinner, John noticed it. A lamp in the corner, emitting a soft, pulsating glow. It was old, antique, unlike anything else in their home. He couldn't recall ever seeing it before. He tried to ignore it, to focus on Mary's warm smile, the children's animated stories. But the lamp, with its eerie glow, drew his gaze, a nagging enigma in his perfect world. That night, as he lay in bed, Mary's soft breaths beside him, John couldn't shake off the image of the lamp. It felt out of place, an anomaly in their otherwise harmonious existence. It was as if someone had dropped a piece of a different puzzle into his life, the edges not quite fitting. The lamp was an itch under his skin, a question mark in his mind. He found himself stealing glances at it during meals while playing with the kids, even in the middle of his training sessions. Its soft glow seemed to follow him, a silent observer to his every move. One day, unable to resist the pull any longer, John found himself standing before the lamp. It was more ornate than he remembered, crafted from a dark, polished wood with intricate carvings that seemed to writhe and shift under his gaze. The pulsating light emanated from within, a soft, ethereal glow that seemed to beckon him closer. He reached out, his fingers tracing the smooth curves of the wood. It was cold, surprisingly so, sending a shiver down his spine. As he touched it, a jolt of energy surged through him, throwing him back. He landed hard, his heart pounding in his chest, his breath caught in his throat. He looked at the lamp, fear warring with curiosity. The glow seemed to have intensified, the pulsating rhythm faster, more erratic. He felt a strange pull towards it, an urge to understand its secrets, even as his mind screamed at him to run. Section 4. The walls crumble. The line between reality and delusion blurred. The lamp grew larger, its glow more intense, consuming the room, the house, his world. The laughter of his children morphed into shrill screams, their touch cold, their eyes filled with an alien light. Mary, his beloved Mary, her face contorted into a grotesque mask of fear. Her voice, usually a melody, was a rasping whisper. "You shouldn't have touched it, John. You were warned." He tried to reach for her, to hold her, to reassure her, but his arms passed through her like smoke. Panic clawed at his throat, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The room was shrinking, the walls closing in, the pulsating glow of the lamp the only source of light in the suffocating darkness. He fell to his knees, his sanity slipping away like sand through his fingers. The lamp loomed over him, a monstrous entity, its soft glow now blindingly bright. He closed his eyes, surrendering to the inevitable, a silent scream dying in his throat. The last thing he saw before the darkness consumed him was the inscription on the base of the lamp, a language he couldn't understand, yet felt deep within his soul. 10 seconds borrowed, a lifetime lost. Section 5, 10 seconds lost. He woke with a gasp, the fluorescent lights of the lecture hall blinding him. Students bustled around him, their voices a dull roar in his ears. He was slumped over his desk, a textbook open before him, the professor's monotonous drone washing over him. He blinked, his mind struggling to reconcile the fragmented memories of a life lived with the mundane reality of a college lecture hall. He looked around, his heart pounding, a cold sweat clinging to his skin. There was no Mary, no children, no cozy bungalow filled with the aroma of lasagna. There was only the sterile, impersonal space of the lecture hall, filled with the indifferent faces of strangers. He had been asleep, he realized, a brief nap during a particularly boring lecture. He glanced at his watch, 10 seconds. 10 seconds was all it took for his world to be created and destroyed. He ran a hand through his hair, his fingers trembling. It had felt so real, the love, the laughter, the fear. He could still taste Mary's lasagna on his tongue, feel the phantom weight of his children in his arms. Section 6. Echoes of a Dream. Life went on, a monotonous cycle of classes, exams, and part-time jobs, but John was forever changed. The memory of that other life, that stolen happiness, haunted his every waking moment. He couldn't look at a family without feeling a pang of longing, couldn't hear a child's laughter without a tear stinging his eyes. He found himself drawn back to the library, not to the dusty tomes of ancient artifacts, but to the familiar comfort of fiction. He devoured stories of alternate realities, of lives lived and lost, searching for a glimmer of recognition, a flicker of hope that maybe, just maybe, his dream wasn't entirely a figment of his imagination. As he drifted off to sleep each night, he would whisper their names, Mary, his children, clinging to the fading echoes of their laughter, the warmth of their love. 10 seconds, a lifetime lost, and a heart forever broken by a dream that was never meant to be.